1. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live LinkedIn training session. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to show you something in a different way than maybe you've seen before. So if you've watched some of our LinkedIn training, this one is kind of tidied up a little bit more for you to help you get going and start moving on LinkedIn. Please let me know where you're from. Hi, Tom. Welcome. Thank you for letting people know about this. Hi, Katie. Do let us know where you are, who you are, and where you're from in the chat. We will do a Q&A session, and if people want to see some live demos, we'll do some live demos at the end as well. So please let us know where you are, just so that we don't feel like absolute idiots talking to a camera.
Oh, and don't forget what you say there on the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, just a quick one. Obviously, we're live. This is real time. It's not pre-recorded. So please do subscribe to the channel, because we produce videos like this on lots of different topics all day long. Hi, Paul. Hi, Christelle. Santiago, Chile.
Buenas noches.
Kentucky, USA. Real welcome to you, Paul. Bedford, UK. Twickenham. Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Rachel, Hertfordshire. So real welcome. We are going to get started in a second. I started a bit early just to kind of make sure it all worked and we're all here.
Croatia.
Oh, I love Croatia. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Yeah. It's morning in Chile. Yeah. It's evening in Chile here.
Very chilly.
Hi, Vincenzo from Harrow. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. Please do subscribe to the channel. Let us know where you're from. This training is going to be incredibly practical, but I am going to burst some bubbles tonight. I am going to tell you some things that you probably are doing wrong. And at the end, we're going to give you totally free.
Elena.
Totally free. We'll give you our social selling essentials book as well. So that'll help you get started. Hi, Dale. Hi, Satith. Hi, Cardinal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this training is going to be practical, but it's also going to unpick some of the strategy behind it, so you can actually get on with this.
It's Benji.
Benji and the Breakers. Sounds like a band. Benji, no problem. The video will be up for a replay, so if you want to come back, you can watch the replay, but it is live right now.
Sandra Gervasio
from RI USA, Richmond, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. I am going to walk you through some of the backstory to this as well, so you can understand the context of how this all comes together. But tonight's session is how doesn't matter how technophobic you are, how introverted you are, how of an overthink you are, you can do this. It's really, really easily.
Would it be okay to share LinkedIn details?
If you want. If you want. I will do Q&A, so just let me get my slides together and then we'll get going. So this is for anybody really, but it's focused on lead generation, inquiries, not cold calling. I'll tell you about my story with cold calling in a second. But you want a simple process to follow each day. There's no technology needed for this. This is the simplest way to generate inquiries and new business from LinkedIn without any gadgets, without any complication. And it's ideal for people who are selling expertise or know-how. So that's what it's really geared around. But, there's something here for everybody who's trying to a bit effectively make sales on LinkedIn. So we'll cover a couple of things. My story on LinkedIn, the guru stroke lead gen problem, and that's really the warning signs of what you need to do to get out of that space, because it's terrible for you. The one strategy, the 4 Cogs, the £1.5 million whale, and I mean monetary whale, how you can work with me, and a Q&A. And if you stay to the end, if you put up with my little how you can work with me, which I'll do for about, 60 seconds tops, I'll go through Q&A. Literally review your profiles live if you want me to. I will go through and tell you some of the things that you might want to improve if you want to, live on LinkedIn. And everybody who stays to the end, I'll share a link with you. You can download our free little 40-page book which will give you all this course material and some tips and some practicalities you can implement as well. So it's a good deal. Put up with me for a bit and you'll learn some stuff that will help you get the sales. So I think it's a fair trade. So this is a horrific picture of me. My wife says to me that if I looked like this when I got married to her, she wouldn't have married me. But why listen to me? Because I've done it from scratch. I've done LinkedIn from scratch with no adverts. I've got testimonials and reviews. I haven't got a thick skin, right? And this is something that's important. To do cold calling, you have to have a thick skin. I do not have a thick skin when it comes to cold calling. I can't, honestly. Vasco has known me for
years.
Been in the UK 4 years now.
4 years, yeah. Today. 4 years today.
And Vasco's been with us 3 years.
Yeah.
Just short 3 years. And he knows me now. I haven't got a thick skin, so I had to generate sales. I had to generate sales without doing the cold calling because I can't. Just to pull the violin out here, I can't take the rejection. I don't believe BS works. We all have to put a positive spin on our business. We all have to promote ourselves, but I think you have to be able to back up what you say. So I'm not going to tell you stuff that I haven't done myself.
Terry Heath is asking if that's Alan Carr.
Terry, I'll say what I really think
tomorrow.
And the other thing is, there's a lot of people offering LinkedIn stuff. I've got an address. Yeah, I've got an address. You can come and show up at my office, and we'll actually make you a coffee and let you in, as long as you social distance.
The coffee's rubbish. The tea is much better.
And a real business. So we exist. You can go on Google Earth. You can go on Google Maps. You can see it. We're not hiding behind a virtual office. We're not a one-man band. We're a real business, and I've got real results from real clients. So
in fact, we've expanded.
Yeah.
And by the way, hi Andrew from LinkedIn.
Oh, hi Andrew. So yeah, this is me, Alan Carr version. I was literally a geek. Some people say, you're an introvert. Yes, I am an introvert. I've just got used to talking to a camera. But if you met me at a conference, I'd run out of things to talk to you about in about 5 seconds. I'm just not very good at that. You put me on a call or ask me something specific, I'm great. But that kind of social stuff, I'm just rubbish at. But because you're all not here, I can just talk to a camera. So why did I get into LinkedIn? This is really important. So I've always been a bit of a social media fanatic, always been involved with it. But about 8 years ago, I was asked to take on this underdog project, which was basically sell tickets at Wembley Stadium. There was no money. You can go Google it, find the press release on it. And literally, I was tasked with selling event. 6 weeks out from the event, no tickets had been sold. And the event needed £600,000 to raise. I went to social media with no budget, figured it out, and sold 38,683 tickets in 6 weeks from standing start. And I did it through this method. And I didn't know how this method worked back then. I just instinctively knew stuff and put things together and made it work. And over the years, I've kind of tidied it up. But a few years ago, I got a bit lazy. And I became the spreadsheet guy behind the computer, and I had a marketing agency business, and we had a pretty brutal split, and
an aggressive one.
And I had to rediscover this all over again because I'd been a lazy such and such for a period of time and not really used it or practiced it myself. So by necessity, I went from a just short of $1 million turnover business in the marketing agency world. The split happened and I started all over again. Literally all over again with a team of 6 original staff, Maverick staff. We started again because, not because the business had gone out of business, but because a lot of the clients went the other way on the split. So we had to reinvent this and go from literally day one, we've got no clients.
No clients, negative turnover.
Literally, and pull it back. And we did in 18 months. In 18 months, we passed basically our previous target, and now we're double the size we were at our height when we were the marketing agency. So I've done this in practice, and everything I'm going to teach you, I've done without ads. You may have seen some ads from us recently, but pre-2020 we did no ads. So that's why you should at least give me a fair hearing. And these are some of the people who've written reviews for us. You can go find them on Trustpilot. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because there's a lot of shit out there and a lot of people saying things that will tell you to do things they've never done themselves and they've never actually implemented. They're just sharing information that they don't even know if it works. Best way to tell if somebody's half decent on LinkedIn, go and look at their LinkedIn. If you find them anywhere else, check them out, find the reviews, but if they're nowhere to be seen on LinkedIn or they're average on LinkedIn, they don't look like they know what they're doing, don't trust their advice. So, the lead generation problem. I decided to mix up my slides and put a bit more fun in them. And the lead generation problem is that most people who are doing LinkedIn, trying to generate sales, are doing the slick car salesman routine. And it doesn't work. It annoys people, it makes people feel uncomfortable, and it drives people away. It's pushy, irrelevant, and suspicious. And the strategy that's common in this sector, in this kind of bubble of dodgy lead gen tactics, is connect and pitch. I'll send you a connection request, and then as soon as you accept, I'll send you War and Peace, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. No effort to learn if the customer's interested. No energy's put into see if the customer has a need. You just literally throw it at them and hope you find somebody who actually is looking for what you're offering at that moment.
And interesting, I think most of us here today have gone through the connect and pitch, and no one has bought anything.
Yeah.
I dare to ask if anyone out there has bought something from a connect and pitch.
There'll be one or two. There will be one or two. And if you the other thing that LinkedIn's done right now, which is trying to discourage some of this stuff, is that if you share links in messages and you send that link out over and over and over and over again, LinkedIn will start to blur out it and say it's suspicious or it's spam. So you could be there firing out your landing page, and I've done this. I've done all this stuff, so I know what works, but LinkedIn's now making it more difficult because they don't want their network to be known as somewhere where you just get pitched all the time. But they now blur out your messages anyway.
Or change even the link.
Yeah, they change the link to block the link because they don't want you sending the same old copy and paste. So it's a bad idea. What's a good idea is the social selling alternative. It's easy, it's relational, it's natural, it's the right way. People buy from people. Now you might go, oh, well, how do I do that? What do I do? I'm going to show you. I'm going to literally walk you through it in the next 50 minutes.
I, Sanjeev, and I, Tina.
Hi, Tina from Slovenia. So we know the answer. We know people buy from people. We know that connect and pitch and some of these pushy tactics are the bad way. So why do we keep doing them? And I'll tell you why. It feels more productive to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. It feels like you're making progress because you're actually, what you do when you do that is you're playing the lottery. You're hoping that 14 million to 1 comes in for you. And it feels good because you're doing something. And it feels good because you're putting your message in front of somebody. But you're putting your message in front of people in the wrong way. We think it'll get us results faster, but it'll actually get you banned. And I'll share some instances in the Q&A and the demo of how it can get you banned. So we know it's a bad idea. We should not be doing it. And selling on LinkedIn, it isn't hard if you do it right. The clients will find you. I'm going to show you in this session how you can flip this round so that you're doing something every single day that you know is adding to your pipeline. But some of the things that you do, you will not see an instant return straight away. It will be a process, and we'll show you how that process plays out over a month, over 3 months, over a year, and over 2 years. So the reality check, honestly, most people offering LinkedIn training have never done it themselves. They've never actually done what they've taught. Automation is a major risk and can get you banned. Be very, very careful. LinkedIn finds out you're using automation, it can put you in serious hot water. Pursuing instant results will make you do Crazy things in pursuit of leads. Do not do it. This is all the stuff that I'm telling you not to do.
And that's sort of an act of desperation.
It is. It's desperation. And what you're doing is, there's a phrase, and I'll say it, I'm not sure if everybody would understand the phrase or use this phrase, but when you have a transactional sales process, you get transactional customers. So when you send to people and say, hey, do you want some SEO services? They go, yeah, I'll have some SEO service. How much? So transactional sales get transactional sales. Transactional pitches create transactional customers. And if you want people who buy on price and buy because it's the cheapest, go ahead, connect and pitch, transactional strategy. What I'll show you in the system, and what I'll show you in tonight's session, is actually how you avoid the transactional method that gets you transactional clients. Most lead generation has no targeting, or strategy, so it gets no results. And I'm going to convince you, plead with you, beg you to follow this for the next 30 days. Just funny, I've got two stepchildren and two of my own kind of biological children. Kind of, definitely.
I was looking at him.
And one of the things that we try and teach our children is to get into a routine. Yeah, and it's an important thing we teach our children. You do your homework, you brush your teeth, you have a wash, all that kind of stuff. Yet, when it comes to business owners, they don't build a routine of developing business. They do it as a reaction to, oh, we're going to have a rough month if we don't do something. It's about routine. It's about systems repeating a process. So you don't need a secret system. You need a common sense in a system.
Yeah.
I suppose all children are biological, yes. But what I'm meaning is, two of my children, I was trying to differentiate between stepchildren. Never mind. I dig myself into holes sometimes. So all you need, as you can say, I'm a sci-fi buff, so I've filled this PowerPoint with some of my own fun references. All you need is one strategy, just one. One will do you, and it's common sense put into order. That's all you need. Unlimited power. It's a great film. I love this scene in Star Wars. So instead of trying to fight like an army, become a resistance fighter. There'll always be somebody bigger, stronger, with more money, more resources than you. But if you become a resistance fighter, you fight in a way that the army can't get you, can't beat you, because you hit them in a particular point at a particular time, and you hit them where they're vulnerable.
Which is like in marketing. You know, in marketing, you got the traditional marketing, then you got something called the guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Which is totally different, and this is where you win.
So don't fight like an army, yeah, where you build a line and all this kind of stuff. Fight like a resistance cell, like World War II, the French resistance. They didn't try and take the Germans on the front line. They actually went and did things in villages and towns and did things that undermined what the Germans were doing, or undermined the opposition, but didn't actually take them on directly. So, and that's what we're going to teach you, the one strategy. So don't take a country, take a city. Build a fortress, not a line. Take on fights you can win, and don't play to other people's strengths. So this is what the one strategy is, and I'm going to show it you in a minute. So it is this. One client, focus on one client. Who are you trying to reach? One problem, one message, and one offer. In other words, focus so you can land and expand. Focus so you can land and expand. Now, some of you listening to this will be going, oh, no, I can't do that. You see, I've got this and I've got that and I've got this and I've got that. If you try to tackle LinkedIn with loads of stuff, you will end up so all over the show, you won't make a lasting impression. You won't make a mark on anybody. So you need to drill down and go, this is what we're going to focus on right now. We'll build this up and expand from this. So land and expand is a famed phrase in consulting world, where they would take a small project, get that project out underway, and build out from there with a client. You need to do the same on LinkedIn. One client, one problem, one message, one offer. And as you can see at the side, I've put some examples of what's the things that you need to focus on. So who are you trying to reach? What's the pressing pain they have that you can help them solve. What content resonates with them, what message resonates with them, and what's the offer that you can promote and that they need in order to solve the problem. This is the key essentials that you need to get your head round. When you get your head round this, your customers, your potential customers, will suddenly start to realize that you're relevant to them. When you start to put content out there, when you start to drop messages out there, they will start to see the relevance to them. Rather than at the moment, what a lot of people do is put generic stuff out and it doesn't really resonate with anybody. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. Then we'll go into some demos on LinkedIn, show you some things you need to optimize.
Hi, Simon from London.
Hi, Simon. So let me show you this one as an example. So this is the one problem. I've got these slides in the wrong order. So the one problem, and it's the problem that you're going to solve. And think about it. Drop everything you know about your gadget, your service, and everything. The client is buying from you to achieve something, to get somewhere. They're in a point A right now, and they want to get to point B. And your product or service is the vehicle that gets them to point B.
So practically you are the bridge.
You are the bridge.
To the gap.
So you are the bridge between where the client is now and where they want to be. And generally, these the gap that you fill, the vehicle, the bridge that you have for the client is around money, it's around time, it's around their aspirations, their hopes, their what they want to achieve, self-actualization. If you're a coach or consultant, there might be an aim to get somewhere. And an immediacy. There'll be an immediacy in there somewhere too. So that's the problem that you're trying to find. What's the client dealing with right now? What's the frustrations? What's the things, their setbacks, their disappointments? Where do they want to be? And how does our service close that gap? And what you're looking for is the strongest one. What's the most powerful one? And start to prioritize. Towards the end of the session, I'll actually share a link in the chat where I'll actually help you with a help sheet you can download that will help you get and start to work through this. It's quite complicated. If you really want to take this seriously, we've got the social selling program you can join, but you can download it and work through it yourself, or you can come on our program and we'll work through it with you. So that's the problem, the one problem. Then we come to the one client. Now, I'm not meaning literally one person here or one business. What I'm meaning is what's with that problem, who is the market? So if you can solve a problem for a particular group of people, who is that group? But you need to map them out based on LinkedIn's parameters. So the key ones are job title, geography, industry, company size. These are the key ways that you can map out your client. Are they service-based business? Are they product-based business? Are they within 50 miles of Manchester, or are they all over the UK? Are they in the US? Are they in Singapore? Where are the clients that you are trying to solve? Is it just by industry, or are there people across different industries that have the same problem?
And it's interesting, it seems quite easy, but when people start thinking about this, they have a problem.
Yeah, the amount of time I spend on coaching calls with clients just helping them understand their client. But when you do this, and I would advocate you do this, whether you come on any of our training ever again, strongly advocate you do this because it will help you. And I've had people say, it's like you are psychic. You understand our problem like you are psychic. So once you understand your client and the problem, guess what you can do then? Oh, I've got it in the wrong order. You can create messages that are real powerful. Not just messages in literal messages, but you can create content, you can create blogs, you can write website copy. You can do all of this that helps you be very persuasive in the messages you're trying to deliver. So you need to talk to their pain. You need to engage them as people. It's no good just putting promo propaganda out every day on LinkedIn about your business, your business, your business. How are you engaging them? What matters to them? Talk about their pain. In our copywriting section on SSA, we say less we, more you. Less we, more you. In other words, don't use we more than you, as in literal words. Because you should be talking on social platforms, you should be talking to one person, your one client. Engage them as people. Use metaphorical, I don't know how to spell this right, content to make your points. So don't just say, I can do this. Is there a way you can tell this story through an analogy or a metaphor, like a clip that you can find, or a GIF, or a story, a common story that tells the message that you're trying to create in a different way that people can resonate with? Because if you're promo all the time on LinkedIn, people will switch off, totally switch off. Use examples of people like them you've helped. There's another one. Social proof. Use testimonials, share testimonials of people like your ideal client. People who are like your one client.
So that people can relate.
Yeah, they can say, oh, you've done that for them, so you can do it for me. And then finally, be you. I am not everybody's cup of tea, but I have made a decision to be myself. So some people just won't like me, and that's fine. And some people will think I'm a bit crazy, and some people go, I like that he's pretty straight talking, and he doesn't waffle some. Well, I don't know. There's still plenty of time. But be yourself. Really be yourself. Ibema saying, what if you're just starting out? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same whether you've been doing this for 20 years or you've been doing it for 1 year or 1 month or 1 day.
Interesting that Ibiama Sheila says this, because we had a client recently that for a couple of years he was having no sales until we discovered with him that they were targeting the wrong industry.
Yeah.
And it was basic. He was targeting for his product the wrong industry.
So if you're selling a product into a market, or a product that solves a problem, a product that's, you don't have to have testimonials all the time, but it's good to have them, and you need to build them up. So you have to what's the word? Earn your stripes. But you should be the expert in your client's pain points, because your job is to try and solve your client's pain points every single day. That's your job. Your client's not an expert in their pain, because they may get it once or twice. You're seeing it every single day. You're like the consultant at the hospital who just knows it hands down. Yeah, and that's what you should be thinking about. If I'm not an expert in understanding my client's pain, I'm not the best I can be at my market and in my business. Sorry to say that, it sounds a bit rough, but it's true. You need to be an expert, and that takes time, but it takes a bit of digging deep. And our ideal client form, which we'll share with you later, you can download, it's free, we're not trying to sell it you, will help you. So one offer. Don't try and sell lots of things, just sell one thing for a season, maybe 30 to 90 days, so you can build awareness of who you are and what you can do. I tend to say on the 90-day end rather than the 30-day end, but I know some of you are addicted to shopping around and moving around on products, so at least go for 30 days. One of the things I find with LinkedIn is when I've done, literally we've trained, how many events have we done, LinkedIn events?
We will. Our plan is 100 a year.
Right, so we've probably trained, I don't know, in person maybe 6,000-7,000 people, and on the internet maybe 100,000 people, something like that. And what we found is that if you can get into a routine in the first 30 days, you're pretty much going to be successful. If you can get into that routine in the first 30 days. If you don't get into the routine in the first 30 days, you'll probably still be here saying, I really need to get that LinkedIn thing sorted in the next year. It's just something we've seen. You've got to get into the routine in 30 days. If you don't do it, you know what it's like. If you don't get into a routine of going to the gym, if you don't get into a routine of eating healthy, of all these things, if you don't do it, it's not going to happen.
And then lots of people, let's put it this way, do lots of things because they want to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And then take it from there.
So One offer could be an entry point into a relationship you can land and expand. So think about what's the key offer you can give to solve a powerful pain point to get the clients over the line and then expand the relationship. Then focus on cross-selling and upselling. So for an example, we don't have a sales team at Maverick. We have not. We have people who cross-sell and upsell, but we have no sales team.
No new business development at all.
No, none. Everything is coming inbound. And even to this day, 5 years down the line, 80% of all of our revenue comes from LinkedIn. That said, and I'm going to caveat this because a lot of people go, oh, 80% of my revenue comes from LinkedIn. Oh, you mean 80% of your revenue comes from LinkedIn training? No. We have a services business. We have a graphic design business. We have a website building business. We have a consultancy business. We have a printing business. And all of our business, 80% of it, comes from LinkedIn.
That's our entry point.
Yeah, entry point. What do we call it? Our gateway product or service, or entry point. So the one strategy is really, really simple. Instead of trying to fight like an army, become a resistance fighter. One client, one problem, one message, one offer. In other words, focus so you can land and expand. Everybody got that? Everybody still with me? I've not put you to sleep yet because we're going to get into the more interesting stuff in a second. Everybody still alive? Hopefully.
Please do comments. Do ask questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me know you're still alive. Just put yes in the chat. That'd be great.
Oh, great. Paul is still here.
Paul's
He's alive.
still alive. My
Great.
God, one person's living. I've not put everybody to sleep.
So I hope Simon's still alive, and Ibiama, and Caddy, and Terry,
Yeah, and
Andrew, Tina.
Rachel. Great. Fine.
Great, Caddy.
Yeah. So the 4 cogs.
Kevin.
So
Crystal.
this is where we start to hit the road now. We're going to start to hit the road.
Thanks, James.
So the 4 cogs, social selling essentials. And of course, at the end, I'm going to give you this book so you can have this book for free. No cheeky upsell. You have to pay the postage. None of that stuff. You can have it for free. People say to me, why do you give people stuff for free? Why do you push everything out so far? So I have this principle and it plays into the 4 cogs, and I really encourage you to do it. You have to resist some of your instincts to do this because you want to try and convert everything and push everything. And is that if you get the right message out there, even the people who are not going to buy, not ready to buy, not interested, will see that you do what you do, and that will spread. If you keep your lamp under a bushel, to use a religious reference, what ends up happening is hardly people knows you. There is no award for being the best kept secret. So I encourage you to be prolific in giving stuff out and putting stuff out. Whether that be free downloads, whether it be free webinars, whatever it is, be prolific in getting it, because ultimately what you want is your market and your clientele and your potential clients to know, and you to be known for solving a problem. You don't get that by keeping everything locked away. You have to be prolific and be out there.
Rishika asks, what can be done if the client's not responding?
Well, Rishika, I'm going to walk you through that process now. So the 4 cogs, everybody ready? Is this 4 vital components to sell on LinkedIn without pushy tactics. Number 1, content. Number 1, produce it daily. You've used the ideal client profile, which you can download later. And if you literally write a post about one of those questions in there, you'll have posts for the next 60 days, probably 60 days. And then guess what you can do? Repurpose them and do them again. Content is the driver of LinkedIn, massive driver of LinkedIn. I'll come to that in a minute. Engagement. Before you do anything else with your prospects, so you've got a cog running that's producing content every day. Don't go, oh God, how am I going to do content every day? I've been doing it for over 5 years and I somehow managed to do it every day. Not because I've got superhuman abilities, but because I've made a commitment to do it. If I want business, I do this. So if you want business, if you want to build freedom in your life, what do? You start a business. You don't go, oh, well, when I get freedom, I'll start a business. You go, actually, I'm going to build a business because I want to do things my way. I want to do something with my life that's not in a job. So I'm going to do content. Do content every day. I'll walk you through some examples of how to do it. Engagement. Before you ever try and connect with a prospect, go and like some of their stuff, go and comment on some of their stuff, and have some meaningful conversations, because your connection rate will go up through the roof. It will increase. It'll be over 50%. If you start to get lots of people reject your connection request, guess what happens? You get banned. If you keep doing that, you get banned. So you need to connect with everybody who engages with you and everybody you've engaged with. Even the people who aren't relevant, if they've engaged on your post, connect with them, build that relationship. Likes and comments on your content, engagement on your content amplifies your content. So if you get content with likes and comments, more people will see it. Don't just produce it and hope that people will see what you want to say. You need to produce something that means something to the people you want to do business with. Connect. And then conversion. And I'll show you some examples of this because it's really, really funny how it works. So conversion, is literally use articles, lead magnets, and messages with people you've built relationships with. Don't message anybody you haven't built a relationship with. Don't message anybody you haven't engaged with on their posts.
And the great thing about creating a relationship is that when you talk to these people, you're not a stranger anymore.
No. And so let me make something really clear. Do not underestimate the power of a thank you message or a congrats. They are brilliant conversation starters, but not a thank you for connecting with me, waffle, 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 waffle. Short, sweet messages. Remember, your goal is not to sell your product so they click a link and go buy, or shouldn't be. It should actually be to develop a conversation. Your goal is a conversation. Once you've got a conversation, you want to take that further. But if you just try sell, which is what everybody else is doing, guess what? It's a yes or a no. You need a conversation. So you can use articles, lead magnets, and messages with people to build and create conversations, just like you can do with thank you messages and congrats messages.
Rachel wants to know, what's a lead magnet?
A lead magnet is effectively a free download where you create a piece of content that you offer out, and people go to a website or somewhere to download it. Laura, I'll answer that question in a moment. I'll answer that question.
Okay, Paul, no problem.
So, do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul.
Do it for 30 days. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Or the cog. Don't try and say, oh no, my customers are different. Don't do all of that crap. Just do it. Yeah, just do it.
For 30 days.
And the reason I tell you this, don't obsess about it and go, well, let me write my 30-day content plan. Right, literally commit you're going to do it every day from tomorrow. Even if some of your posts are crap, do it. Do you know why? Because in 4 days' time, your posts will not be crap, because you will learn on the job. You will field test it. And that's what we're doing here, field testing. You can sit for hours writing wonderful posts that you will never know if they work until you actually post them. So do it, have a go. If you fail day one, improve day two. Very, very simple. Just do it for 30 days and say, I'm going to do it. If it bombs, it bombs. But if I won't know until I try.
If you don't action it, it's just a wish.
Yeah. So now let's optimize. Another one of my favorite films. I love Transformers sci-fi. I don't know whether the GIFs
Optimus Prime.
We could be getting really excited here about the GIFs, but we have no idea if they're actually showing on the feed.
Can you see the GIFs? Could you say yes or no on the chat, please?
So let's optimize. So you've got the one strategy. You've got the cogs. Now is the time.
Brilliant. Thank you.
To shift your profile.
Brilliant.
And now is the time to write your profile, not for your competitors, not for your employer, not for your industry, but for your customers.
Oh, not for yourself.
Not for yourself. Yeah, so you're not looking to find a job. You're actually doing this to get business. So on your LinkedIn profile, number one, Make sure you've got a friendly looking profile. Yes, some of my photos are a little bit filtered, but you know, we're all a bit insecure, aren't we? It is me. Have a header image. If it's a stock image, fine, but try and do something branded. Not necessarily because you want to look like a superstar, but so that people can understand the context of what you do. So at the very least, put your company logo in there and an image that correlates back to your customer's industry. Not your industry, your customer's industry. Very, very important. So if you help winemakers ship parcels around the world, have wine and parcels and your company logo. Really simple, because you're now focusing on your one client with one message you want to land. Then here, underneath your name, you've got a headline. This is the most important thing you change on your profile, because every time you post, every time you message, every time you send a connection request, everywhere you go, that little headline follows you. And for most of you, you've just got your job title and the company name. So you've got prime real estate that you can tell people, I can do this for you, or I help winemakers ship their amazing products around the world. Say it. Make it abundantly clear who you're here to talk to. Don't be pushing, or I want to talk to. Just say what you do and how the pain point you solve.
And there's three things that follow you everywhere. It's your picture, it's your title, and it's your name.
Yeah. So your headline, your name, and your photo. Those three things go everywhere with you. The next question, I'm not going to go into the providing services and everything because you can go dig that out for yourself. It's a quick feature that you can add in. Your about section. Don't fill it with CV stuff. I'm a results-driven, proven track record, work on my own, blah, 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 blah. Put something in there that speaks to your customer.
You're not looking for a job, you're trying to sell.
Yeah. The job you're looking for is solving your customer's pain. So talk to them about how you can help them solve their pain. Very, very important. And then secondly, the featured section, which is just off the screen here, is a new feature where you can add links, you can add articles, you can pin content,
posts,
videos, PDFs. The first three features you put up there are the ones that will get the most traffic. So if you've got a lead magnet or a landing page on your website, use one of them. If you've got a PDF brochure, put it on there. But before you put anything up, make sure it's not generic sales waffle. Make sure it's actually talking to your customer. So it talks to the winemakers who want to ship amazing wine around the world and the problem that they face of damages and what have you. Think about the problems they face and make your whole profile about that. Forget everything else. Focus on that. Now, content. Some quick tips on content.
And by the way, there you go again.
There you go.
Three things that follow you.
Yeah.
Your photo, your name, and your job title.
Headline.
Or headline.
So when you produce a piece of content, remember that the first job you've got to do is tease your content. If you just burst out into a load of stuff, you will not get people's attention. So as you can see here, I've structured the post into 2 broken lines so that if they want to know more, they have to click see more. The longer you keep people on your post, the more visibility your post will get on LinkedIn. And you should be writing your content to encourage likes and comments. If you just put statements out there, broadcast, if you think you're the BBC pushing stuff out, you're not going to get engagement. If you think about yourself as somebody who's asking questions and saying, do you want to know, this is how you can, it will encourage people to pay attention. And if you get likes and comments and you space out your text so that more people spend time on your post, your views go up. And so more of your first connections will start to see your content. If you put posts out and they don't get likes and comments, there's something wrong. You're not writing for the right people. If you put content out and it's getting, when you click the stats at the bottom, you find that none of the relevant people are there, you're doing the wrong stuff. Now, promo content, i.e. this is my social selling advert, social selling accelerator advert, will never perform as well as something that's more engagement, metaphorical content, or engagement content, things that amuse people, interest people, make them smile, make them comment, ask them a question. They will never get as much engagement because it's promotional content, and people can see promotional content. But it's important you put it out, because without it, they don't know what you can offer. No offer. You know, imagine doing the one strategy and deleting the offer, and then you come back to me in 30 days and going, we haven't sold anything. Well, you've not given anybody anything to know about what they can buy.
Here's an interesting question from Mark.
Yes, Mark, it's absolutely critical to mix content. So we call it the content sandwich. So one day you put out something that's business centric, the next day you put out something that's more engagement, maybe funny, maybe interesting, it might be a GIF. LinkedIn is not this stiff upper lip platform anymore. It's more the business Facebook. Now, you may not like that phraseology, and Facebook comes with some connotations, I know that. But it is more social business than it is business social. So it's more about relationships. Now, before, it was very clinical and it was a CV site. Now it's very much more relational. And so it's important that you use those relationships. Interestingly enough, you could connect with 10,000 people. And there are some people telling you how to grow your connections by 10,000 people in next 10 days. It means jack shit if they don't see your content. If you don't write content that engages people, you can have 1 million people following. But if they're the wrong people, or if they're not relevant, or if they're not engaging with you, they don't know you exist.
After a couple of weeks, they just go dormant completely.
So Dale's asked a good question. Who actually sees your posts? So this is a complicated question. Well, it's a complicated answer. So when you post on LinkedIn, and some of our social selling accelerator guys, could you just comment in the chat about what we've done results-wise? We teach you how to get your content seen by large audiences. And that's about structure, and it's about the mechanics of how you do it and the timing and the way you put it together. The people who see your posts are a small sample audience. In the first couple of hours, LinkedIn shows your post to some of your first connections. Not all of them, a tiny amount. And the more connections you have, the more that tiny amount is, but still, it's a tiny amount. Now, if those people that see it start to engage and it gets a good response in the first few hours, LinkedIn then goes, tick, that's half decent post, let's let more people see it. And then if more people start to engage with the post, LinkedIn goes, let's let more people see it. And then you reach what's called is a viral post. And there's no definition of what a viral post is on LinkedIn, but it's nowhere like Facebook or YouTube or something. It will actually, it would actually end up in a situation whereby LinkedIn's human editors would review your post and then let the reins off it to let it go free, which basically goes, let's take all the restrictions off it, let's just run. So it's not that you connect with 10,000 people and they see your post. That's not how it works. It's a sample audience, and based on that sample, LinkedIn rolls it out to more people.
And interesting, because Andrew just said a good one.
Yeah, Andrew is disappointed now if he gets less than 2,500 views per day. So it builds and it builds and it builds. And you become better at content this way because you then learn, a bit like running a TV station, you become a TV station, you learn what your audience loves and you learn what your audience hates. You learn what converts and you learn what doesn't convert. And you can then work to what works and dump what doesn't.
No, it's not normal.
Chris, no, Chris, a couple of things. On LinkedIn, you've got connections. Not all your connections are active. Not all your connections are active every day. So you can have a skewed number. 400 views.
Normally 2/3 of your connections are dormant.
So, Chris, it depends on how long the posts are. I can get 400 views on my posts with all the things that we teach in the Social Selling Accelerator. I can get 400 views in an hour. And by a day, if I'm a bit like Andrew, my floor is 4,000, 5,000 views. Some days I hit I hit a dumb post that I think I should have. I wish I'd never done that. It was a bad post, but the next day's a new day and you learn. So, okay, so a couple of quick things on connecting. So remember, 4 cogs: connect, engage, content, engage, connect, convert. On the connection side, if you're connecting with people, withdraw people who don't accept within 7 days. If they haven't accepted within 7 days, withdraw the connection. You don't want a large volume of no's. You don't want a large volume of no's. It damages the health of your account. It can impact your visibility, and it can ultimately get you banned. 3 strikes, you're out. Never send more than 100 connection requests a day. You will get into a lot of hot water if you start to max this out too high. And don't pitch cold connections, because you can get a reputation as with LinkedIn and the people you're trying to sell to as somebody who's a pain in the ass. And then what happens is you try and come back to them, and they see all the waffle you've done before that they've ignored and remember you and go, oh. So don't do it. Warm people up. Engagement wins. 1 strategy, 4 cogs. So why everything I've told you won't work for you. And these are the pitfalls. So remember this, because this is the only reasons it won't work. You don't define your 1 strategy. You shift your ideal client profile. So in other words, you don't fix it. You don't do any work on it. You just have a go. You just dive onto the platform and hope it works. You don't leave your industry and join your clients. So what do I mean by this? I mean, forget whatever industry you're in. If you're in tech sector, if you're in whatever sector you're in, forget it all. And move yourself, not literally, but in your thinking, and go, I'm now in my client's industry. And I'm going to talk about what matters to my clients and matters in their industry. And guess what happens? You draw a crowd of people who are interested in what you're talking about. So you get a crowd of clients hanging around you. Now, just an aside, clients don't normally engage. They watch. And I've had this. Some of our students on Social Selling Accelerator have had this. The clients don't engage, they watch. And they watch, and then eventually you hit that point, and the next thing you know, you've got a message in your inbox saying, I'd like to talk, or can you help me with this? It's common sense. So leave your industry, wave goodbye, and join your clients. The other reason it won't work is you're looking for shiny toys to shortcut the process. There's no end of shortcut shiny toys. I teach what they are, but if you don't get the basics, if you don't get the things that you can do, like literally turn on a tap, go on LinkedIn and have a go, you'll never be able to work all of that stuff and play with the shiny toys, because you're still missing the strategy that you have to do. It won't work for you if you don't post every day. People say, oh, I'm going to post 3 days a week. Well, unfortunately, the algorithm doesn't like that. People say, oh, don't post once a week. No, every day. The average lifespan of a post on Twitter is less than 18 minutes. That's the lifespan. On Facebook, it's less than a day now. On LinkedIn, it's round about a day. I can sometimes put out 2 posts a day, but I wait till I've got a post over 5,000 views and then do another one. So you've got a day, every day you could be putting something in front of your clients. Cardinal, it's not LinkedIn's a business platform, but every 5 days, sometimes on a weekend, it can be really good to post and get a lot of different people engaging with you and seeing you on a weekend. So I do some posts on a weekend. I'm not as regimented as I am during the week, but every business day is an absolute essential. This won't work for you if you try and connect and pitch. I've met so many people pre-pandemic. I was out in a different city every single week, and I've met so many people who said every time I try and set up a new LinkedIn account, LinkedIn knows who I am and restricts my account again. So if you put the time in, you will get the result out. So simple. So simple. So I'm going to talk to you about the £1.5 million whale. And I don't mean literally in weight. I'm going to talk to you about a £1.5 million whale. Now I can share with you, I'd love to say that every client gets £1.5 million whales. I'd be lying. But the vast majority of people who go on any of our programs will close business. If they implement, they will close business. So we worked out the average, and the average is about £200,000 of business per person who implements over a 13-week period. That's what it roughly works out at. But let me talk about the £1.5 million whales. We've had in terms of business and clients, we've had about 25, 30 clients who've landed £1.5 million whales that have told us they've landed them, or the 7-figure whales. So this £1.5 million whale, there was no sales pitch, posting daily, engaging with connections, prospect bit following content and a thank you message. Yeah. And they'd invoiced £101,000 of sales with that one whale in 3 weeks of within 3 weeks of connecting. And the repeat business contract, because it was a contractual project, it's 1.5 million per year, and they were running it for the year. And this 1.5 million pound whale, we've had clients who've done the whales by themselves, and that worked.
And I thought you're talking about that one.
No, one of Vasco's clients. That was dollars.
Yeah.
So we did this, help this client through our social selling program. So, that's our rah 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 rah. But Vasco's got clients he works with on the done for you side, and he's working with them and actually getting them those results as well. So I'm going to do Q&A in a second, so get your questions ready. Please put your questions in the comments.
We'll answer Alice probably then.
Yeah, I'll do. Please put your comments in. I'm just going to show you the Social Selling Accelerator, and then we'll go straight to Q&A and live demos. So I'm not going to kind of do the hard push. So if you're struggling to make sales with LinkedIn, if you don't know what to say, you're frustrated by not converting leads, you're nervous of digital stroke social media, horror stories, all that kind of stuff. You want to sell at a higher price point. Remember that transactional thing. If you approach people transactionally, you get transactional customers. If you want to do it different and you don't want to do the hard sell, guess what I'm going to say?
Join Social Selling Accelerator.
So instead of this, and hopefully they can see the GIF. This is a Star Trek.
They can.
This is a Star Trek GIF. You have this, yeah. Now it is about you putting the work in with us. So I sit on the calls. I'm going on a call in 30 minutes with our Social Selling Accelerator team. Go ahead, and if you want it, come join us. There's a good bunch of there's about 57 people on it, so you can join. So finally, and then I'm going to go to the Q&A. If you want to join us on 13 weeks of results, I want you to go and consider, not going to push you, consider this. Please put your questions in the comments, because I'm going to go to Q&A in a second. So please consider it. There's no hard push from me. Obviously, I'm going to tell you about it, but
there's only one thing that we ask people to do.
What?
Be consistent.
Yeah.
If you show
up, I'll show up. And most of our students know that I don't switch off. So we're pretty much committed to customer success. In fact, we devote our Fridays to it.
The link is on
so
the chat
if you want to join it, the link is on the chat. Go do it. Click the button. It's actually going up on Thursday. So on Thursday is the intake. So if you want to be part of it, sorry, it's the 15th of October we start. So go find it now. The next intake, the next proper intake will be mid-November. We do it in runs of every 4 weeks, just so that we can get all the training sequenced. And you'll learn from other members as well. One of the guys, Steve, in the Accelerator, actually produced an amazing little flow chart that he shared with the group of how he puts it all together. So go ahead and do that. Right, Q&A. Please put your Q&A.
So you got Alice.
So Alice, where's Alice?
Over here. I've been posting on Facebook every business day, but not much happening.
Alice,
what's happening?
Our Facebook group will be relaunched. We've not built it up yet, but we will be in the next few weeks. We've been busy launching the next round of Social Selling Accelerator. So we will come back to the Facebook side. So back to our content is often towards our client's client. How do we draw our clients in to working with us? So the first thing the first thing what you should be doing, Laura, is thinking about what's the pain point of the client, and then using your client's content to explain how that solves the problem. Now that's a really quick answer, but effectively, let me think of a scenario. Learn how IBM transforms their customer intake by circulating. I think it's who I think it might be by using the latest research to justify sales decisions. Yeah, so you would have to shift your content, but what you could do is devote your company page or a proportion of your team to your clients and a proportion of your team to your clients' clients, or a proportion of your company page posts, and split them because the messages would overlap. The messages would synergize. So,
Mark, by the way, before Dean starts answering, Social Selling Accelerator is for you.
Okay. Really? So, Mark, our customer base is very wide and varied, and we have struggled to focus on one industry niche, always afraid of focusing on one area and potentially losing customers in another. Mark, so, I'm sorry, Mark, I think we know each other, so I'm going to say it kind of in my northern style. If you don't focus, you won't get the results. So what you're trying to do is hedge your bets. So you're saying, I don't want to kind of focus because we might lose something, but if you don't focus, you'll lose something. So I would focus in, really drill down tightly and go, let's go for something. And of course I would say this, wouldn't I? But Social Selling Accelerator, I actually help you do it. We do one-to-one sessions to help you do it. Download the Ideal Client Form and really dig deep into it. Forget everything you know. If you've ever watched a video by Elon Musk about first principles, about how he built SpaceX, it was basically ignoring everything NASA had done and started again, and really rethought it, taking away all the assumptions and go, what's the issue? Desperado.
Hello, Tom.
How do we get them warmed up from the point onwards and keep developing the relationship? So Desperado, if you've connected, you've warmed them up beforehand, you keep warming them up, interacting with them about what matters to them on their posts, when they comment on things, and keep engaged. Literally keep engaged. We teach it as the 7 steps.
Tom Crosby, how does your content stay customer relevant and fresh each day?
So in the Ideal Client Form, there's about 20 or so answers, and you can pick one of those each day and spin it out. And it's actually incredibly easy if you do the form the right way, because effectively what happens is you can go, okay, what's the consequence of what's one of the consequences the customer's facing because of this problem? I'm going to write about that now. And you don't have to write about that directly. You could actually write about it as an example. So for sometimes what I'll do is I'll use a GIF to explain it. I've used a Wolf of Wall Street GIF and explained how sometimes it can feel about the problem or the pain point I'm talking about. I've used infographics. I've used just straight YouTube clips. I've used a cat video even to make the point. I've used a clip from Airplane, for an example. A clip from Airplane I used to make the example. So there's lots of different ways you can actually do it. And Tom, if you're interested, last week we did a content workshop live. So if you go round on the channel, please subscribe, by the way, to the channel. You'll find last week's content workshop.
Kelsey Taylor, you like this one. Is it better to post and communicate through a personal account than a business account?
So
this is what many people ask us.
So the marketing people will want the answer, the company page is best. Unfortunately, it's actually the personal profile. The company page is a great validator that you're a real business and all that kind of stuff. But it's the personal profiles that make the difference, because LinkedIn, like Facebook, has geared the company page to be used in conjunction with ads. So you can get more reach, more visibility, more engagement, more interaction, more relationship using the profiles.
And let me tell you something probably you won't like hearing, but the things work on LinkedIn the following way. You post, people like your post, they go, oh, who's Kelsey? Let me check her out. They'll see your profile. Then they'll say, where does she work? Oh, she works in company X. And then they'll go onto the company page. And then from the company page, some traffic will be drawn to the website. But everything flows from the post on your personal profile.
Your profile will generate more company page views than anything else you can do.
Dale wants to know what constitutes a daily post. How long?
As long as possible. So,
which is 1,200 characters.
Now, we are all emotional creatures. Now, you might think, oh, I can go on LinkedIn and just tell people straight things and they'll evaluate it straightforwardly. They don't. So you have to do things. Sometimes you only make, like, let's say your knowledge is 100. What you can do is go, right, I'm going to break my knowledge into tiny components and use it 1% in one post. And actually you can do that in about 1,200 words, 1,200 characters, sorry. 1,200 characters is the top. Often I go to the top end. But generally, if you're in the 600 characters word, and that's where you can get the most engagement. The key thing is what you put at the top and how you structure it at the top. If you look at the backdrop here on mine, I've got the Maverick company page at the top, and you see how I've structured that text there. It's structured to say this is something really key that I want you to pay attention to. So lots of spaces is important.
Cardinal wants to know how do you handle copyright of clips?
So copyright on LinkedIn has not been brought in, but the EU, depending on your view of the EU,
Article 13.
Article 13 of the General Copyright Directive allows you to use clips that are in the public domain for commentary, pastiche and parody. So do not brand a YouTube clip of somebody else's with your company logo, because that goes beyond what you're trying to do. But you can use an example to illustrate a point. So I went to a religious school when I was young. I went to a Church of England school. So I was taught about Jesus's parables, where he told stories or he explained points using simpler stories, like the parable of the sower and things like that, where people sowed into different ground and it produced different things. So use some examples of the points you're trying to make and use different stories that illustrate the similar point. LinkedIn, Mark's just asked, LinkedIn's exploded, literally exploded. To quote one of my competitors who's advertising his course on YouTube, he's said, LinkedIn has exploded. It has. It's exploded with LinkedIn trainers who've never used LinkedIn, and it's exploded with users who suddenly go, I can't just knock on doors anymore. I can't just cold call people because they're working from home. Some companies are getting rid of landlines. Everybody's spread out. So how am I going to make sales? LinkedIn's the way. It pings on their phone. It engages them on the phone. They have it open on the computer. I think it's something like in the first couple of weeks, LinkedIn put about 3 million users on.
And it went up the traffic 2,700%.
Nick, if your posts fail to gain traction, how will you beat the LinkedIn algorithm to get pushed out? Nick.
Good question, Nick.
Nick, you need some pals. Yeah, you need some pals to help you beat the odds, beat the algorithm. There are some ways to do it. We have a WhatsApp group that helps you do it. It's free. Go ahead and message us message me on LinkedIn or email the office hi@maverick.co.uk, and we'll show you how to do that yourself on WhatsApp or WhatsApp group that will amplify your content. Nick, that's Dale.
Dale, if you have 3 or 4 people in a team, how would you suggest coordinating their activity, if at all?
So what you could do is you could switch their agendas by markets. So you could have 4 ideal client profiles and 1 person going after each one. Or you could have, I think somebody else asked earlier about something similar. You could then split so many people talking to the client's client and so many people talking to the client. And that would work perfectly.
Natasha asks about... are there still optimum times to post? Tuesday, Thursday, 8
yes.
or something?
So the key time to post is is first thing in the morning. And I don't mean 9 o'clock, I mean about 7 o'clock. And the reason I say 7 o'clock is because, well, for two reasons. Number one, it gives you the maximum amount of waking hours for your post to be visible. That's the first one. So you're more likely to get people to see your post in that first couple of hours, because most decision makers during the day are busy on with stuff. So if the first early hours, 7 till 9 kind of thing, and actually in the cold calling handbook, they actually say you're better trying to get the decision maker on a cold call either at the end of the day or first thing at the day. So that's a really good way to do it. So 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to send a message to a decision maker, 6 o'clock in the evening. And if you want to do a post maybe later in the day, it's not as good because you've got less waking hours, but that post afternoon 2 o'clock run is brilliant. And again, if you need help getting your post amplified, drop us a line. We've got a little thing you can get involved in. It's free and it will help you kickstart. Alice, it depends on where you're targeting. It's 7 a.m. wherever you're targeting. So if you're trying to reach people in Canada, 7 a.m. in Canada. If you're trying to reach people in the UK, 7 a.m. in the UK.
And the great thing about what we're talking tonight is that, you know, you could have a 260-minute coaching session which is going to go over this with you in detail. Dean will do this in detail with you.
One-on-one.
One-on-one.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Is everyone still there?
There's 68 people here, but they're not talking. So I don't know whether they're just waiting for us to hang up or whether they've got questions. Burning questions. Now you're all. I know why they're all still here. We're going to share. We're going to share with you the ideal client profile. The ideal profile.
Great, Sarah.
And the Social Selling Essentials book. So, Terry, if you are there,
he is, yeah.
Could you please share the links for the Social Selling Essentials book and share the link for the ideal client profile download? So please, Terry, if you can share them in the chat.
Get ready to download those.
There they are.
So the first one, it's the client.
Laura, so adding
Ideal
to your
client.
previous question, if there's a case of different time zones, so US, UK, for an example, I do US, UK. So I will post at 7 in the morning, wait till that post gets to 5,000, then come round at 2 p.m. and go again for the US. It's a little bit late, 2 p.m., but it's a good time because I can get some of the UK traction as well.
So the first link you've got, it's the ideal client form. And the second link you've got is the social selling guide.
Both free. James, we're in Plymouth. We're just down the road.
Come over. And we social distance.
Social distancing, hand gel, masks, all that kind of stuff. We're in the same bubble. Vasco had to self-isolate, didn't you?
Yeah, for 3 weeks.
So Vasco was literally, because he's got... What am I allowed to
I've
say?
got everything.
Vasco's got everything.
I'm an old man.
So we're in the same bubble. That's why we do the webinars together, because it gives Vasco a social life. No, Laura, I wouldn't post the same thing twice.
No.
So it would be different things. So what you could do, and I think your comment is probably correlated with Dale's, is you could split the team by location. If there's 4 of you, you could have a US person for your client, a US person for your client's client, a UK person for your client, and a UK person for your client's client. And the UK one would probably cover Europe as well.
By the way, you've got the links to Dean's profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so come find me on my LinkedIn.
You got mine and you got Terry's.
If you're curious about the Social Selling Accelerator, go to our Trustpilot. There's one grumpy on there from somebody we emailed and they got upset with us. But you know, that's life. You'll see the reviews. You can go click on the reviews, find the people to validate the people. All of that stuff's there. So you know, our goal is actually, we love doing this.
Muchas gracias, Enrique.
We love doing this, so we want to help as many people as possible get the success. Not because we love LinkedIn, because if LinkedIn stopped working, we'd ditch it. That's what we're about. We're about what works for small businesses. We deliver this program into corporates as well, but this is the small business group program, so you get to be there. Okay,
Thanks,
any more questions?
Roger.
There's 60 of you here, and I'm more than happy to keep answering questions. Would anybody like me to review their profile live? Anybody feeling brave? If you want me to review your profile live, just put your full name, in the name, please review me.
Thanks, Crystal.
And tell me the name of your company so I can search you out, because a lot of you will have similar names. So if you want me to review your profile live now, I will happily do it. But I've got to be off at 8:20 to get ready for my Social Selling Accelerator Q&A calls.
By the way, there's someone here tonight, which is Katie, and she's doing exactly what we have been speaking tonight, and she's getting all the engagement and traction that she needs.
Oh, you know Katie?
Yeah, I know Katie.
Ah,
I speak with Katie nearly every week now.
really?
And her dad, Barry.
Oh, right. I know who you are now, Katie. Sorry. So yeah, if you've got, here we go. Let's do a live review. So Tom, I'll come to you next. Nick, I'll come to you next. So let me just get my LinkedIn up. Hopefully you can see my LinkedIn. Oh, let me just see if the middle name isn't there.
No.
Ooh.
Just go for the first name.
Oh.
Ibiama, we are trying to get in.
Let me come to Tom Crosby, and then Ibiama, if you can. Now the difficult bit is, Tom, can you let me know who your company is, because I can't tell.
There you go. Accountability.
There he is.
There you go.
So, Tom, nice friendly picture. I try and tie that in to the header into it. Business development, accountability, financial planning, financial analysis. So, Tom, you may fall out with me after this. I would target your headline a little tighter to the people you're trying to reach. So, who are those people, and get that in there.
We'll do, Sarah.
Because there's so many people doing financial planning analysis, financial accounts stuff. You don't want to blend into the background.
We'll do yours, Ibiama, don't worry.
And then let's have a look at Tom's posts. So, Tom, I'm going to pick on you, sorry. But you did say do it, so. Tom, you need to tease your post so that not all of the information is on display. Then, Tom, this is the bit you might not like. You're using the wrong hashtags. Get in your customer's world, not your industry's world. So if you look at, say, cash flow forecasting, first of all, LinkedIn only indexes 3 hashtags. So if you put more, you're not going to get them.
Oh,
yeah. So if you put more hashtags, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't help you. But if we look at cash flow management, yeah, think about the hashtags. Is this a hashtag your customer is going to be following? Or is it something your competitor's going to be following? So the first thing is cash flow management has 419 followers. So you're literally using this hashtag to advertise to 419 people. And if we look at the feed, this will tell you a lot about who's there. I bet you any money, most of them are not your customers. They're actually competitors. So flip your hashtags. So Tom, if you're looking to get to people in, I don't know, leadership roles, you could use leadership. If you're looking to get to finance people, use finance. But focus on the hashtags your customers are following, not your industry's using, and not your context of your content. So for an example, if I wanted to get a post in front of Xerox, guess what hashtag I'd use? Hashtag Xerox, because Xerox do the same thing. They just promote their posts to Xerox people.
You're doing a great job, Katie.
Let me have a look.
So
Sarah Hills. Sarah, yes, I was. It's really, I love doing the events in person. The frustration is obviously because of now everything has to go online, so we rebuilt everything to go online.
Ibiama Sheila Dietz Spiff.
Right, Ibiama. Let's have a look. it doesn't want to find you for some reason.
Ibiama, could you put on the link to your profile, if possible?
So Integium, sorry, I can't. My eyesight's not very good, but what you're saying is, what happens if you actually have to multiple customer segments? Ingentium. So don't think about it in the classic markets of verticals and horizontals and sectors. Think about it in the sense of problems. Does certain segments and certain markets have similar problems? Talk about the problems, and then shift in terms of the references. So you could go in the leisure sector and talk about the same problem, and then you could pivot to the finance sector with a similar problem. So niche on the problem, not on the sector. I'd love for you to be able to say that you could do it a different way, but if you don't niche on the problem, you won't get attention.
Sandra Gervasio. Terry, could you answer Sandra? Sandra, please. And could you do, please, Christopher Ross Convoy?
Christopher Ross Convoy. Here we go.
And Terry has found Ibiama's link. So Ibiama, we'll get you.
So Christopher Ross Convoy, so founder and CEO of Convoy Community, taking loneliness out of job hunting, interim IT director, independent consultant, technology advisor. So Christopher, I'm going to ask you a question. What are you looking for here? I'm not this blunt, really, honestly. It's just the way I come across on camera. Are you... is taking loneliness out of job hunting, is Convoy, what is that? Because I read this, and I'm not in your industry, so I could have it totally wrong, but I read this that you're an interim IT director, or you're an independent IT consultant, or you're a technology advisor. So I don't connect, and this is me on face value, so I could be totally wrong. I don't connect what taking the loneliness out of job hunting is to do with what you do. So I would think about what's the primary focus. It looks like you're an interim technology director. So I think about what's the focus you want to have on your profile. You can have multiple, and it looks like you've got multiple. But what I would do is, if you've got multiple things, I would try and explain what you do here too.
He says it's a startup.
Okay, so I would try and make it very, very clear. This is what you do in the header image to avoid that confusion. Because I immediately thought you were an interim IT director, so fine. But then I didn't connect the Convoy Community and the job hunting thing. So some people could perceive it that, oh, Convoy Community helps people, interim directors and independent IT consultants. So
I think he's a recruiter.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I would do is use your header to really explain a couple of things about what you do. To beef it up. Global Technology Director, 12 years of experience. So you're looking to, if you're selling yourself as an interim IT director, this is probably relevant. But what I would do is try and break it down. So I would again tease it so you only get a little bit above the see more. So they click to see more. Think of it like Netflix when they do a cliffhanger.
Mike Carney from Golden Sky.
Where are we? Mike Carney, Golden Sky. There he is. Oh, we're connected. Just as an aside, by the way, I've got to run in about 5 minutes, so please ask any more questions because I have to run in a minute. So, Mike, you've got a nice friendly picture. I'm not sure 100%. The picture comes out a bit pixelated on mine, but I'm not sure what you're trying to convey with it other than your Affiliate Summit Pinnacle Awards and Pinnacle Award Affiliate Summit. So I'm not sure what that is. A talent partner and acquisition for e-commerce digital marketing jobs in Canada. So I would use this header to really explain what you do so that there's no confusion. I've known Mike for over 10 years now. Mike, I would talk about the pain point in this first line. hook people into this so that they read more, because most people won't read all of this. You've got the featured section, so that's good. Mike, this one
Don't
here,
worry, Abiyama, you're going to be next.
this one here, Mike, there's no open graph image, so it's not being presented. And this one looks great, but what I do is try and change the header so it gets people to be curious and look. Content-wise, let's have a look. So again, Mike, tease the content so you don't get everything above the see more. 3 hashtags, and what I would be doing, Mike, is using the hashtags of your customers, not the hashtags of your target audience. So digital operations, for an example, if we click that hashtag, 85 people follow it. So what I'd be doing is if the person you're trying to promote to is in marketing or digital marketing, I'd be using the digital marketing hashtag, the biggest hashtag you can get. That's really important.
Can we go to Abiyama?
Abiyama, we will come.
Here's the link. There you go. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, we will come. We will come to everybody. There is somebody else, so don't worry. I will get to you. Here we go. Abiyama. Here we go. Abiyama. So, living with purpose, health and wellness coaching. Hit follow. So, Abiyama, just one thing. You've got a connect button up, but you want people to follow. So, in the settings, you can disable connect and put the follow button if you want to.
But ideally, you want people to connect with you.
Yeah. But then in your header, I would be showing people why they should get health and wellness coaching from you. Why should they do it? So you could go health and wellness. I'll coach you to be healthy, well, and something like that. What's the goal? What's the pain? Remember that. Without that, on the about section, you're starting to do that, but again, try and get it above the fold. Get the featured section in where you can show people how you do what you do. But then Abiyama, you've only connected to 530 people, so use the 4 cogs to start building your audience. So if you're starting to talk to business owners who want health and wellness coaching, or whoever it is, start to build the relationship so you're in the middle of their world, you leave your industry and join your clients. You've got the T's here, which is great, Abiyama. You've got some content, but I would still break it down so it's easier to scan read. But you've used four hashtags, and I bet you any money, everybody who follows mindfulness will probably be mindfulness coaches or something like that. So what you should be doing is looking for, like, here we go, a yoga teacher. Obviously, a yoga teacher is going to follow wellness and health, and mindset coach, spoken word artist, Forbes under 30, engineering undergraduate. So think about what hashtags are your customers following, and again, try and do some that are big, small, and medium sized, but you shouldn't be touching a hashtag under 10,000. And again, try to encourage questions that get a response. So if you're asking a question here, put an image that's a bit different to ask attention there. We go through this in Social Selling Accelerator because there's a lot to go through in terms of imagery.
You have to be careful with your time.
Katie, yes, success stories from other customers, like the customers you're targeting, so they can go, they've done it for them, they can do it for me. That's what you're trying to do. Suman Roy, I won't forget you.
Infosys.
Executive Director.
No, that's the second one. It's the second one.
Let me just spell it right. Where are you?
Suman Roy and Infosys is the second.
There we go. So, Suman, you're in France. So, Director at Infosys, great, but Suman, add what you do and who you're doing it for, who you're looking to talk to. You've got Infosys linked, but what can you put here that tells people who you do and what you do and who you do it for? So I'd do that. Suman, profile picture, very professional. Infosys is a large company, I think.
Yeah, very big company.
So Suman, try and take your shot as a little bit more friendly, a little bit more down to earth, because LinkedIn's not CV site. anymore. It's about relationships. So if you're looking to sell, try and humanize yourself a little bit, less not professional, a bit more friendly, because when people look at your profile picture, they're trying to go, we're all making sweeping judgments about people, instant judgments. What they'll be trying to do is imagine, how will I get on with Zoom and in the real world when we're on Skype calls or Zoom calls? So it's important you convey a little bit of...
You look too formal.
You look too formal. And it's a social platform. It's relationship selling. So if you were on a Zoom call with your boss, that's how you should present yourself. Now, if your boss wants you sat in a suit looking like a naughty school pupil, that's what you do on LinkedIn, but I don't think he would or she would. I think they want you to just be yourself and do a good job, and that's what you need to do on LinkedIn. Okay, we've got Anne Marshall, Tina,
Valentina.
Anne Marshall. I will do you in a minute. Terry, if we run over by 2 minutes, can you jump into the 8:30 call with the social selling people?
Valentina Sejovic.
There you are. Above Academy. Above Academy. Tina, friendly picture. Great. Tells you what you do. You've got... so interestingly, Tina, you don't say exactly what you do and who you do it for there. So I would be adjusting that to go, actually, great. We provide amazing corporate retreats that will build your team and transform your productivity, or something like that. Again, it's not about your passion. Sorry, Tina, to pick on you. It's about what you do for the customers. Customers are selfish. I know this sounds awful. It's what customers want, so you have to give people what they want.
Tina, if you're looking at me as a prospect, what would you like me to know about what you can do for me in terms of helping me do my job better?
So, Tina, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you, but not literally, obviously. Do you want us to know that your passion is developing yourself, or do you want us to know that your passion is to help people have amazing retreats? Content-wise, and then I will do Anne Marshall. So, Tina, don't give me a bad review because I'm being a bit... so what I would do, Tina, how fascinating are parallels between the year 2020 and past events? Space. Yeah. And then I would show a bit more and tease a little bit more. Hashtags.
3.
Who are you trying to talk to? So think about the hashtags your customers follow. Only 3, because only 3 count. And I'll show you why. If anybody's still here, I'll show you why. So I'll click a new tab. So you see Tina's hashtags there. Everything interesting, fascinating, magic. So let's have a look in Tina's here. It doesn't even index them. Doesn't even index them. So use the hashtags that you'd be looking for.
Probably got no one following. Can you click on everything? That's probably the reason. 347 followers.
So pick the hashtags your customers are most likely to follow, not your competitors, not your industry, what have you.
And Marshall, you'll be the last one tonight.
So where's Anne Marshall?
Anne Marshall, double N, double L.
Is it this?
Is this you?
Anne Marshall Company. Let's have a look. Oh, Anne. Oh yeah.
Top
sorry.
one.
Let me. Yeah.
Is this the one, PT Finance Director?
Yeah. So Anne, header image, part-time finance director. So Anne, I'd be telling people, particularly if you're going into a new business, you've got helping business owners succeed and save time.
It's a pleasure, Tina.
I would target that a little bit sharper. Business owners succeed. What does succeed mean? Is it make more profit? Is it conserve cash? Is it helping business owners create cash flow that gives them freedom. Yeah, they want to make money. So I help business owners make money by being smarter with their financial decisions or their financial management. Yeah, very, very simple. So make use of this space. About section, I would make it about your company. Are you a business owner that's struggling to get the cash flow? You've got profitability, but you can't seem to unlock some of the challenges in your business. Things like that. Then I would look at your content, and I'd be posting more. And I would tease this a little bit more. Meet Richard. He's 45, married with 2 children, and he's left his day job. ... Tease the rest out. And again, entrepreneurs are great.
Great hashtag.
But bookkeeping will only attract bookkeepers. Accountant will only attract accountants, and Zero will only attract either people who love Zero, which are probably
or accountants,
because we use Zero as a business, and I'm certainly not a fan of it, but we use it. Manoj, tangible benefits. Yeah. I'm not sure what that one is there, Tina. Tina, Anne. And what I would do with this one is I would go, I started off this week feeling a bit flat, ... And if I'm honest, I'm fed up. To add to this, my 13-year-old son, so I tell the story, but shorter sentences and broken down with spaces in between, because it's easier to read. Some people will be looking on a tiny screen. You want it easy to read and flow.
And people cross-read nowadays.
Yeah, you're not writing a novel. You're writing effectively copy to convert and to engage people. So it has to be broken down much more. Think like subtitles. How subtitles come out. It's one line.
But the posts are good. The copy is brilliant.
Personal post. How did I end up doing what I do? And then I would tease that out again. But you're kind of on the right wavelength, Anne. You're kind of nearly there, but there's just a couple of things. And again, bookkeeping, accountant, Zero partners, cloud accounting, small business owner is actually probably a more American hashtag, because us stubborn Brits don't like to admit we're a small business. And in fact, if you look at the definition, a small business is a company with less than 250 employees.
Yeah.
So I've got to go because I'm late for my students, and they're going to be grumpy with me for being 3 minutes late.
Would you like to put the lost...
So I'd love to have you on our Social Selling Accelerator. It starts on Thursday. You can be part of it this coming Thursday. Go to the link. I think it's socialselling.uk.
It's on
socialselling.uk. Go register on Eventbrite. You'll get all the confirmations, and we will see you on Thursday so that we can go for the next 13 weeks. You've got lifetime access, but for the next 13 weeks, we literally go at it all speed. I'm there behind you, whipping you, but also encouraging you, also tweaking stuff with you, changing stuff, showing you how to make it happen quicker. So,
and thank you for being out tonight,
guys. Please hit the subscribe. I've got to go. Sorry. Thank you for joining us. Please tell people about what we do. If you've got some value for it and there's not something you want to buy from us, that's fine. Just be an ambassador. Go give us a review on Google. Give us a review on Trustpilot. Something like that would be great.
Thanks, Katie.
But one final thing I'm going to tell you to do. One final thing. Do you know what it is? Do it. Do it. Just go do it. Forget everything else. Just go do it. And then come, if you get stuck, come find me, but just go do it. Go do it. Have a great rest of the week, guys.